Salute. Salute to God, the Most High, creator of everything. Salute to all our day one. Salute to all our new subscribers. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And to y'all trolls, y'all know what it is, man. Only God and your mama can love you, all right? But love is love, all right? Listen, we just gonna give it to you, man. One time, yeah, yeah, yeah. I say one time, yeah, yeah. I say one time. We gonna cut this short, you know what I'm saying, on the intro. But we got to give the God his 2 salutes because he woke us up today. Plus today is Sunday. So we should be extra thankful, even though they changed the Sabbath day. That was originally, here I go already. That was originally a Saturday, you know, but 2 salutes to God.
Every day is a gift. That's why they call it a present.
Every day is a gift. Okay, I guess that's why we're present, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We were gifted to wake up today. See, that proves that God is good. Man, we was having a real conversation a few minutes ago off camera, man. And I wish I could have caught it. I don't know how much of the world would appreciate it because the world seems to despise the truth, but pay homage to anything that makes them feel good that's fictitious. You know where I'm going with this, so bro, open up.
Hey man, you know, the truth is meant to be judged. You know, people have their beliefs.
We've talked about conspiracy theories. We've talked about religion. We've talked about colonization. We've covered lots of. We've talked about diseases, man-made diseases. You know what I mean? We've covered lots of grounds, but I feel like we covered no ground because we failed to record the dynamics and the magnitude of those intellectual conversations.
Yeah.
So, I want to ask you a question, bro. Conspiracies first or religion?
Yeah, pretty much all one and the same, to be honest with you.
Give me your take.
You know what I'm saying?
Give us your take.
You know? Like I say, it's one and the same. Religion is pretty much a conspiracy. It's all designed to make people humble, to make people believe in a certain manner. You know, but just like conspiracies with religion, you got to remember, God gave you 2 gifts. You know what I'm saying? That's free will and common sense. How you use those is what takes you farther in this life. You know?
That's why I often inspire people to tap in. Tap in. If it don't make sense, then it probably doesn't make sense. If it sounds hard to believe, then you probably shouldn't be believing it. You understand what I'm saying?
This is true.
If you can't prove it, then you probably shouldn't pander to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is...
I honestly don't see, and I got to go ahead and go here. I honestly don't see how people don't do the research on religion. If you do your research on Santa Claus and you still believe in Santa Claus, you need a government check. You know what I'm saying? So if you've done your religion on Christianity and the creation of Jesus, and well, you pander to it still, you also need a check. If religion is your drive and you don't know that someone is using that to brainwash you and to manipulate you and to humble you so that they can push their agenda, or it's been used because an agenda has been pushed, you know what I'm saying, past tense.
See, that's where common sense and free will comes in. If common sense tells you something about it ain't right, then you use your second gift God gave you. The free will to look up and back up and say, no man, this ain't right. I'm not finna go with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that says that this is right.
Bro, do you know, and I got to shout out to the young Pharaoh. The young Pharaoh. I'd be dead wrong not to shout out young Pharaoh on this one. But I don't just listen to what people say, I go look it up. Do you know that Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, as is written in the Bible, do you know she was only 12 years old when God impregnated her with Jesus? 12 years old, married, still a 12 years old, and Jesus started his ministry at 12. And there's 12 different zodiacs, and there's 12 disciples. You know what I'm saying? There's, come on, the 12s, there's 12 months in a year.
And that's the part I did my research on. Because it amazed me, Yes, it is true. Scientifically, a woman can self-impregnate. But
with what? How did it get there?
She
has to be physically touched.
She only could produce her own DNA. Meaning, a female cannot self-impregnate herself and have a male. You have to introduce the male genes.
I get what you're saying, but let me clear some things up because I'm going to have some people thinking I'm a heretic. I don't believe the same thing y'all believe, for one. I exercise common sense and free will, those two gifts you spoke of earlier. But I believe in God. Now, here's the God I believe in. Do I believe that God, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the almighty, the same God yesterday, today, and forever, can get a barren woman pregnant? Can he perform a miracle, a blessing to where a barren woman, where a doctor, a human being says that this woman can't bear children, and somehow she miraculously gets pregnant and bears the child? Yes, that is God. Okay, but do I believe God would impregnate a 12-year-old virgin little girl?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Do I believe that a woman can't get pregnant without being touched by a man? Yeah, she go visit a doctor, but a man still got to do it.
But
you know what I'm saying?
You have human beings that are born with both tools. You know what I'm saying? It's scientifically possible. I looked it up. It amazed me too.
I'm an advocate.
It amazed me too, man.
I'm an advocate for God. I am. I'm an advocate for God because I have been through some things that I know only God carried me through. So I don't want anyone to get the illusion that I'm an atheist. I don't want anyone to get the illusion that I think I'm God or greater than God. And I know they're going to come up here, how are you going to do this and you don't believe in Jesus? He gave his only son. If you don't see a flaw in that by now, because the closing of Malachi says, behold, before the coming and dreadful day of the Lord, I shall see the prophet Elijah, who shall make straight the ways of the children, and turn the hearts of the fathers back to their parents, lest I come smite the earth with the curse first. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? My father was a minister. I've been to Bible college. I didn't finish, but I attended. I showed up. I was present. All right? But then 400 years later, after what they call the intertestamental period, that's the closing of the Old Testament to the opening of the New Testament, that whole prophecy shifted and no one noticed. Now, you promised us Elijah. You said before the coming and dreadful day of the Lord. If Jesus is indeed the Lord, then we know the last person to announce the coming of the Lord in the New Testament was his first cousin, or second cousin, John the Baptist.
Yes, that's true.
How did John the Baptist transform from Elijah? How that work?
Hey, man. Depends on which Jesus you talking about.
And then Bible scholars want to tell you that God and his angels both confirmed, you know what I'm saying, that John the Baptist fit the description of Elijah. How? Elijah and John sound like two different things.
Totally different. There's no...
How?
No similarities.
We're talking about 400 years later, and you're confirming that both of them that he fit the description of Elijah, and that's how you're going to pass this story on?
Because that's the description they wanted of Elijah.
What happened to Elijah? I know he got swept up in the chariot of fire in heaven, and I know he was walking with his brother Elisha. I know about the mantle. I know about the staff. I know about all of this. But if Elijah never died a physical death, I'm going to say it again. But if Elijah never died a physical death, because there's somebody who is so prone to that Bible.
I guess that's something they just didn't erase like they erased everything else.
If Elijah never died of physical death, and the scripture speaks of Elijah coming.
What happened to him?
Right. How did he turn into John the Baptist?
I guess he decided to change his name like they changed genders.
Why won't they tell you that it's more than one Jesus in the Bible?
Because then that contradicts the part of the type of Bible, the type of religion they wanted you to believe in.
And I'm not even going to tell them where it's at in the Bible, because most of them going to come in here quoting scriptures and calling us heretics and atheists and saying we're going to burn in hell. So if they really know the Bible, how they think they know the Bible, they'll find where there's more than one Jesus in the Bible.
I'll be whatever they want me to be. I'm gonna utilize my gifts from God. I'm gonna utilize my common sense and my free will. I have the right to believe and think in the manner that I choose to. Whether it's right in someone's eyes or it's wrong in someone's eyes.
There's no account of Jesus during the first century on up. You know, like, you have to go to 325 AD. And that's the meeting, the Council of Nicaea. We're talking Constantine, Arius, Alexander. We're talking like around the time that the first European pharaohs showed up and took over, you know what I'm saying, Egypt. You know what I mean? And did away with the black belief, the black God, and implemented something that, you know what I mean? There was no account, bro. There was no account. There was no J in the Hebrew alphabet. No one left any account of their existence. And you brought up a good point this morning. Everyone in Jesus' circle was what?
Criminals. Murderers, thieves, rapists, prostitutes.
Oh, we can't say rapists, rapists. And unalivers. Sorry, YouTube. We working on, I told you, God working on us. God working on us.
That's the point. In life, people want you to believe something that better fits their narrative.
Let me ask you something real quick, not to cut you off. Let me ask you something real quick. That's why I like talking to you. You said everyone in Jesus' circle was what?
A criminal.
Name, like coded, encrypted, but they were what type of criminals?
Rapists, unalivers, thieves, ladies of the street, so to speak.
Liars.
Yes. Con artists. They all had a quote unquote.
So are you describing
tainted background?
Are you describing a colonization? Are you
sure?
I think you just described what took place during colonization. What did they do?
Unalive people, rape the children and the women of those cultures that they
and there was no account
liberalized.
There was no account of Christianity before colonization.
No, not at all.
There was no account of Christianity before colonization.
They took the fact that those cultures that they colonized was religious. So it only fits in for you to tell them that God said this was to happen to you.
It's supremacy, bro.
Yes.
It's supremacy, man.
Yes.
Right there in the Bible, in the Song of Solomon, where he goes, they have made me keepers of the vineyard, but my own vineyard I have not kept. He said, my mother's sons was angry at me. My skin is dark. My mother's sons were angry at me because the sun has looked upon me. My mother's sons, slave masters, they made me keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard I have not kept. And we're going to call that a Song of Solomon when it's actually a plea from a slave.
Because the sun has looked upon me. Meaning, I can go out there. I'm not being beat up. It's not making me sick.
Whew, this thing gonna get deep.
That's why I am the keeper of the vineyard.
This thing gonna get deep. Let me switch the narrative. I know our time is limited.
Yeah.
I like putting you on front street. I ain't gonna lie. I know you gonna speak. I know you one of the type of people, bro. You're not gonna create an image for yourself. Like, you're just gonna be you. You're gonna what you see on camera is what you are off camera. Okay? What you say on camera is really what you would say off camera. You know what I'm saying? All right, shoot. Now, do you think, this gonna touch some people? Do you think the Twin Towers really imploded or exploded when that plane hit it? You think that America didn't know?
Me personally, I think they knew because those pilots got their license through visas. They were taught here in America. It was
There was some type of account of yeah.
yeah,
There was an account of them.
yeah. You know, and you don't. A racist ain't gonna just jump up out of the blue and be racist. A person that has a plan to destroy someone or hurt you ain't gonna just jump up out of the blue. It's plotted. It's known. They're gonna make it known. How you listen to it or how you pay attention to it, it's up to you.
Every tragedy, every disease, every epidemic, every war, I believe is planned. I mean, it's population control.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? It's population control. When there's a population explosion and the world is overpopulated, we've got to do something and fast. You see what I'm saying? To actually bring down the Earth's population.
true.
So I believe that it's population control. They know.
Yeah.
They know. You know what we went through in 2020. I ain't gonna say it, but they know that was control.
I mean, even Obama said it before he walked out the door. We have to put together a disease control because there's going to be a chemical warfare, or he even said it. Then what, a year, 2 years later, here's Corona?
He even signed a bill for the U.S. to have the authority to use the military against the American people. He signed that bill on his way out, and look at Washington, D.C. right now in the military.
I mean, what is that? Conspiracy or common sense?
But the Constitution says that the military should never be weaponized against American citizens.
You look at a bottle of Lysol, it knew about Corona before Corona got here. How can a bottle of Lysol says it kills Corona and don't nobody be able to stop it when it gets here?
You can't find a Lysol when you get here.
I mean, things like that don't happen.
You got to set up a microban. You can't find a Lysol now. Where did the Lysol go? You know what I mean? But I personally watch these planes impact these buildings. And what I saw was not an explosion. Like, I have common sense. These planes have jet engines. You're using jet fuel. Jet fuel is gonna burn, baby, burn. It's gonna almost disintegrate everything in this path. You can't extinguish it. It's got to burn itself out. You understand what I'm saying? The way those buildings folded when that plane made contact, bro, them buildings felt like it was something planted inside them steel beams to make it fold in. That did not look like an explosion. It looked like an implosion.
They collapsed from the bottom up,
Now
not the top down.
Now America knows when somebody's flying a balloon across the country. They know when a drone is being flown. Remember that balloon they chased down all across the doggone, and they found the Chinese spy balloon or something?
Yeah, they said it was a Chinese spy balloon.
How you know about this balloon? How you know about these drones popping up? Remember, we was just going through about the drones. Remember all them drones that used to pop up 3-4 months ago?
I used to always wonder.
How you don't know this plane was that close?
I used to always wonder to why they didn't shoot the planes down, because they knew in advance that the planes were hijacked to save lives. That would have been a lot better if you just shot them down before you let them fly into the Pentagon.
They just repositioned warships, bro, in the ocean towards Iraq because of an intercepted threat. So you already maneuvering warships around just in case you're getting in position, but you telling me not one but two planes can get through? Come on, bro.
You know they're gonna use September 11th as an excuse to why they picked up now. They've started.
That wasn't a mistake, bro. That's no different from the crime bill, the war on drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's no different, bro. It's no different, bro.
I just say they could have shot those planes down before all those people lost their
I'm
lives.
sorry to everyone who lost their lives. My condolences to everyone still dealing with the loss of their loved ones. You know, and I mean this in the highest regard. Like, my condolences, man, sincerely. But even you have to contemplate at some point with the know-how and the greatness of our military defense. How did they not know? They're spotting all these drones. You know, there's accounts of aliens. They've got all this stuff set up, these Area 51s, but no one saw these two. I mean, we got to get ready to wrap this up, but I just find that just a little.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's like going to the moon. Why ain't you been back? Technology only been better. Why you ain't been back?
Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone taking American lives, but those lives still were lost when those planes crashed. The extension of extra lives that was lost could have been prevented.
And you know what?
In my opinion,
no one talks about that. Good point. We talk about the lives that were lost in the Twin Towers, but no one talks about the lives that were lost on those planes. Why is that?
So if you could just wipe those lives out, like they didn't exist, you could have prevented those lives that did.
I'm gonna let you take this out, but I'm finna prove a point. Now, a few months ago, I know you remember this. There was a Black Hawk helicopter that had 3 pilots, and soon as Trump banned a certain group of people from the military, there was a female pilot who belonged to that certain group of people. You know what I mean? Well, as soon as he said he wasn't gonna pay for the surgeries anymore. See what I'm saying? It crashed into a passenger plane. You can see it coming head on to a regular commercial plane. You don't remember this a few months ago?
No, I don't think I think I missed that one.
The people that know what I'm talking about, and I'll show you off camera. We can revisit that. But this is a big thing. They know this type of stuff is gonna happen. I'm gonna give you the last minute or so, bro, to take us out of there. You know what I mean? And we'll revisit.
All I can say is, man, God gave you 2 gifts. Please use it. Please use it. Free will and common sense. The free will was meant for you not to be a follower, for you to have the right to think on your own. Common sense, if it doesn't look right, 9 times out of 10 it isn't. Use those gifts, man. Every day you wake up in the present, unwrap your gifts. Use them. You can get your father.
And we just learned this morning, just from looking at the older picture of the Last Supper. You know, there's 2 different versions of it. But in the more traditional picture, we saw where they were actually grouped up in, there was 4 groups of 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. If there was 12 disciples, 12 zodiac signs, 12 months in a year, 12, why would they be grouped up like that? Was it to represent the 4 months? Like, how can I put this? It represents the 4 months of every season.
I don't know. That was a surprise to me. That's something I had.
Wasn't that something to think about? That was, what, like 4 groups of 3 or 3 groups of 4 it was, or something like that?
I definitely have plans on looking more into that.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we got to tell the truth on this channel. We are conscious people. You know, we are put here to lead. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. You can't go anywhere and get these type of conversations and choose because people are scared to speak it, stand on it. You know what I mean? But when you can be proven, you know, listen, all of this should have been, when the internet hit, all these lies should have quit. That's all I'm going to say. With that being said, you know, y'all get your one-on-one, get your one-on-one, get your one-on-one with your higher power. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what to believe in, who to believe in. That's your free will. Like my brother was saying, brother in the cut. All right, y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great. And no matter what you do, be you. Ashe.